This is Steve with TBG. This is my fourth installment of the QuickBooks QBFC, whatever the fuck it is called. But this one, the last tutorial video was how to load the inventory out of QuickBooks, and the one previous to that was how to create login, time in, time out for employees, and the first one was how to list all the employees in QuickBooks. What the next one's going to be is going to be how to actually create a purchase receipt. I'm still using the same application we started with, where I started, we built all that extra shit on there, and we ended with loading the inventory from QuickBooks. So now we're actually going to do something with that inventory. So we're going to actually create a sales price or a sales purchase. We're going to create a list of shit we're going to buy, and then we'll create a purchase order for it, or receipt. In this case, we're not going to use a client base. We're just going to straight just do a sales. So there's going to be no client type to this. Normally, in some bigger projects, you would have clients that are registered system, and that way you can do all kinds of shit like that. You can print labels and shit, whatever. But in this case, no. This is for like a simple POS system. So this is more like a cash register box at a bar or something. Okay, so one thing I want to do here, since I'm going to create a third list box here, and this list box is going to have all the items I'm going to purchase, and it's going to be rather simple. I'm going to create a button here. I'm trying to be all fancy-wancy. Oh, fancy-wancy isn't a word? No, it's not. How about this? We'll do see? Never seen fanciness like that, huh? Weren't expecting that shit, huh? Straight up threw you for a loop. Alright. Ta-da. Add remove. You know what? Fuck it. We'll put clear in here. Ta-da. Awesome. Alright. And then we'll create a submit button or something here. Okay. Simple enough. Alright. So I'm going to code these buttons real quick here because it's going to be simple enough. So I'm going to go to this clear button. I'm going to do my listbox 3.items.clear. That's it. That button's done. Screw it. Alright. This next one, I'm going to make this my add button. All I'm going to do is if listbox2.selected index equals -1, then exit sub. Other than that, I want to take the I want to get the item out of it, so I'm going to dim item as, I'm going to call it I, as item, which is equal to the C type. I don't have to C type it, but the reason I do C type so you can see what object I have inside the list box. So I'll just C type it for you guys. Selected item, add item, whatever. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is listbox 3.items.add I. That's it. Now, in this one, I'm not gonna add like a quantity, like how many of them. I'm gonna go in here and add them each time I see them. Okay. I'm trying to think, because now we want to know how many we're gonna put, how many we're gonna buy. Shit that I was like not really thinking of right now. But alright, we'll see in a second. Same thing here. Wait, what am I doing? No. What we're gonna do here is other than that, we're gonna do listbox 3. Can we just select the item dot remove? No. Okay. So item dot remove at, and then we do listbox 3.selected index. Ta-da. Okay, so you hit this button, it copies whatever selected here to this one. Hit this one, anything that's in here, it gets rid of it. You hit this button, it clears everything. This actually does a sale. So we'll do we'll call it submit sales. and we'll create that function in a little bit. I'm going to test it real quick, see if it works. It's going to take a little while because it's got to do the employees, got a little this thing. I guess I just comment that stuff out since we're not using it right now. But we'll need it. We can, I don't need to. We'll see. Alright, so I'm going to take crawfish. I'm going to take some boiled shit and put some more crawfish. And then submit, we'll send it over to that thing, and then we'll process it. We'll remove this crawfish, and then we'll clear it all. It worked. Okay, now to create the actual thing that creates a cell. Okay. I'm trying to think how to do this, because we want to create we got to create the quantity of the item you're buying. So I'm wondering if I should ask how many you're buying. Now, one bad part is that we cannot purchase anything if it's not on hand. So we're going to have to add some items to the inventory in QuickBooks so that we can say, oh yes, we have 5 of these. We can buy stuff and test it. But alright, create this thing. Same thing as always, you want to start the session. So, and end session. Let's get hot in here again. Next thing we want to do is create that message request that we always do. I guess I called it something different in this example, mainly because I got this example from the web. Not even from the web, actually I got it from the help file. So I went to the help file and I typed in create receipt, and they had one for create receipt, and then after that I was just guessing and plugging shit in, and it worked. So I'm going to copy what I have here. So as QB bullshit dot IMSG request set response request. Okay, and now we're actually going to create this thing. So the I request MSG set is equal to the session manager, which in this case we don't have a session manager. We have S session MGR. There it is. And what we're going to do in here is create set request, and this is where we've been putting 30 the whole time. Now you can put it as, I think it asks for strings, doesn't it? No, shorts. When we put a string, I guess it converts it anyway. Alright, there you go. So we created the request cell. This request doesn't say anything, it just says, hey, it's a custom request. It doesn't say we're doing shit with it yet. So now we're going to do, again, we're going to call this the sales receipt, and add, because we're going to add to the receipt. QB.iSales. Now there's orders, but we don't want orders. We want receipt, add request. Because there's add, and then there's an add request. Where is it? I'm lost here. Where is that thing at? Sales receipt dot add. Sales receipt. I use sales. I guess it's just that. Okay. Yeah, because then we gotta declare. Okay. Now we're going to do sales receipt. Okay. And we're going to make that to the message request that we did earlier. And we're going to append it. Append sales receipt add request. So now we're adding an add request to this thing. Okay. Scratching my arm. I got sunburn on me. It's just a pain in the ass. Itchy. Okay. Maybe I'll go home after this. That'll be great. Okay. What the hell is that? Receipt type sales, whatever the fuck. I don't know. There's a lot of extra stuff in here for, I don't know. There's a lot of extra stuff in here that the example put in here, so I guess I'm going to just duplicate it. So I'm going to go sales receipt. Add, there we go, and sales receipt type. Oh. Set value. And the set value is a type of sales. This is going to be, okay, so we go in here, this is going to be a type, this is sale. Ah, crap, it didn't work right. This should have been. Oh man, I went to shit. Hold on. Go away. There. Okay. What this means, like, let me go to here, close this. Sale history, nothing. Let's make a quick sale. Make a sale. Oh, come on, you was gonna ask me that? You know, piss off. Fun item. Here, we'll grab that. Continue. Continue. Update. Okay. This one item, quantity 1. There we go. Da, 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 and then take payment. Save. Closed. Okay. Now we go to the sales. This one sale was made. As you can see here, there's no cashier set up, nothing else and shit like that. No information. Just receipt. What happens is you create this receipt ID. This receipt ID, which it doesn't show you here, if you double click it, which I can't, find receipt and see if it works. Yes. Select. Here it is. Here's the receipt. So the receipt tells you exactly what happened and what sold. Each item inside the receipt. So whenever you create a sales history, there's a sales record, and there's a receipt. The receipt contains the information of the items inside that sale. Man. Oh man, my stomach's getting all bubbly. I have to go to the bathroom. Alright, I'll see if I can build this thing a little bit quicker here. Okay, I'm just going to copy this because I have to type this shit a lot. Okay, we're going to add the ship date for no reason, which is now dot too short. Because you probably don't need to put this information in there. Oh, let's forget this dot set value. I guess you don't need the stuff. I guess only if it pertains to you can add this shit. Price level number. This one, it seems to always be a 1. Excuse me. What I notice is that it does this weird thing that there it goes. I'll go with the first price one. I guess if you know more about QuickBooks, you know how that stuff works and what to do with it. But that's what I was using. And then you can also make a comment on the sales receipt. Comment. I'm just gonna call it test order. I guess here you can put your actual order number or cashier or other stuff. I mean, there's more information to put. You can put like sales representative dot cashier and dot set value. Then you can add the person's name or the login name or whoever the fuck, if you have a employee logged in, set up, and whatever. I really don't care right now, so I'm not gonna add that shit. Another thing is, yeah, the tax stuff. TXN set value now dot. Okay, that's one thing I forgot to mention is items that are taxable. Well, there's just there's two methods to this thing. There's taxable items and non-taxable items, and whatever your tax rate is for your city or area is what the taxable items are charged with. So, like here in Texas, it's it's 8.25, so 0.0825. Okay, but only certain items are taxable. Now, to find out if an item is taxable, whenever you load the items, you can actually find out if they're taxable. Like up here, if I go into my items, fuck off, I can go to one of these items here, and in here, see here, tax code is tax. If it had non, it'll say non, but in this case it's tax, and that's called tax code. So when we go back to our application, over here where we're loading our inventory, load inventory, we can actually bring up the tax code. Value. Now this does not exist, but we need to add it in here. So go in here and we can add okay. Then I'll show you in a little bit. Usually there's only one tax code for your area unless you have a place that has multiple taxes or something. But whatever, okay. So we know we're gonna find out if the item is taxable or not. On food, normally it's not, but whatever, man. You might not be doing food like I am. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do is create my items to, make for the sale. So this is where I'm going to have to create that for loop and go through the list of shit inside my thing. So I'm going to do for t as enter is equal to 0 to listbox3.items.count minus 1. Like that. And then I'm going to go dim I as item, which is equal to listbox3.items t. Okay, and that's already C types it and everything for me. Okay, and then what I'm going to do now is how many of these items I'm going to buy. Now, we didn't add a quantity to these things, but we probably should. Stupid phone. In this case, I'm just going to order one. So, we know we're going to be ordering just one per item. If we want to put multiples, we'd have to add some kind of, we have to create like a sales item class, and then we'll have to put the quantity, and then you can put the quantity in there that you want, and whenever you do it, you're going to add the quantity in there, but I'm not doing all that shit right now. Okay, I'm just going to use quantity 1. Okay, so now the next one, fucking phone. It's going to piss off? Okay, it did. Alright, shit. Alright, seems like the more I think about this, the more I need to add all the other extra shit that I should add in here. I'm going to add some more variables to this. I'm going to put qty as string, and then I'll put an extended price. Okay, and then I'm going to do our, is it a sub? Yeah. Process check rate total. Okay, what I'm doing is going to be simple enough. I'm going to do if the tax code dot to upper equals tax, then we're going to do the following. We're going to take the we're going to set the extended price, which is equal to math dot round. When we do the math dot round, it rounds upwards, which is what you want to do with money. We're going to take the quantity and we're going to multiply that by the price. And then this is for the rounding part. We're going to round by 2 digits, so it speaks a dollar amount. What's that? Pride? Yes. Divided by pride. Okay. Next thing we want to do is a sales tax. Okay, I guess I need to add that in there as well. Sales tax is probably a double as well. That's going to be a double as well. The quantity, that's going to be a double as well. The reason because you can have like 4.5 pounds, so it's not an exact number of quantity that you're looking for. Okay. That should handle all that shit there. Okay. Now we're going to take the sales tax and we're going to equal that to math dot round the extended price times the tax rate, comma 2. This just basically sets the stuff up inside. Now, what we want to do is our tax rate. I'm going to go ahead and create a quick, sorry, whispering. I'm going to create a constant up here. And this is going to be my tax rate, which is equal to 0.0825. Okay. Okay. Alright. One thing I'm going to do now is whenever I hit this add button, I want to bring up a message box and say how many items do you want from I as integer, or not integer but double equals 0, and then I need a dialog response box or input box. QY. There should be a default response. There we go. Oh. QTY. Okay. And then we do I dot Q2Y is equal to I. Not QTY. There we go. So basically, whenever we copy an item over, it's going to ask you for a quantity. You enter the quantity is stored inside the item that we're sending over. Done. Simple enough. Okay, here. Back to this piece of thing we're working on. Piece of thing. Alright. One thing I want to do is I dot process the item. Process text. And I'm going to send over my tax rate. This was that constant I had. I send it over. That gets processed. Next thing I want to do is create the sales record item. So add. It's gonna be crazy. There. This is the item I'm adding to it. So I'm gonna do sales receipt item add is equal to sales receipt. Fuck this all up. It's kind of hard. These examples always use these fucking long ass names that just suck balls. Like this is all. I don't even know what the hell's in there. I just can't type today, or ever. See, that's wrong already. I'll go back and try it again. Let's see. Where am I? Sales receipt add. Okay, I want a sales receipt item list append. What happened up here? Fuck. Okay. Now, see this sales receipt items add list. This was this added up here because that would need to be added up there. Well, I guess it'll continue adding on it. Let's just hope that's what it does. Okay. Now, what we want to do now is do that sales receipt. Fucking phone. What? Can't stand phones, man. You should not have a phone inside the programmer's office. It's just stupid. Fucking this all up here. How come I cannot read it from this screen to this screen? Sales receipt item add. This is what I want to fucking copy, I think. Okay. Apparently using this thing here. So I'm going to copy this and paste it. Okay. Got list ID. Value. Now this is the item we're purchasing. Okay. Not list ID, but now we want the quantity. This is how many we're buying. Okay. So you see, that adds it there. Now, one thing I want to do is create a total. Double. Now, I'm going to do them both separately, just so I can display what's what. Okay. So I got this item in there, right? Now, in here, I'm going to take the price. I need to add the total together. So total, as we put I dot extended price. Okay. Now this is just multiplying that shit and the other shit, not the tax yet. So I'm going to take the tax now. See, this is there. I dot tax, not tax code, but sales tax. Alright, so the total will keep accumulating the total, and the tax will keep accumulating the total tax. Okay, so that should go through every single item there. So now at the end, I got to. Okay, so this will add every single item. In theory, I've not done this before for multiple items. I've done it with one item. So what we're going to do now is create our session, which is already created, so we don't worry about that. Oh yeah, we got to create a sales tender. Whenever you create a receipt, there's always the what gets paid is going to be a credit card, it's going to be cash, it's going to be a check, or whatever the fuck. In this case, we're going to do everything's just going to be a check. I mean check, a cash. So what we're going to do is we're going to do DM sales receipt sales. How about this? STC. That's sales receipt tender cash. Add. It's not going to help you guys at all. As QB dot I tender cash add. Okay, and now we're going to do the well, it would have been this fucking word if I could spell it twice in a fucking row. It's equal to keep forgetting this. Okay. Tender cash list. Add list. Okay. Append, because that's what I'm doing. I'm adding shit to it. Okay. So I'm going to take that cash. Tender amount. Dot set value. Now, this is a total. This is everything together. So this is going to be the total plus the tax. Since this was already rounded, we don't need to round it again. So that's it. That's just everything together. So in theory, you should not have to do a balance. QuickBooks has this thing called auto balance, and basically you send over a value. You create another tender cash response, and you add it in there, and you make it a blank, or you give it a total of 0. And QuickBooks will auto balance that and do the tax. That's how I figured out how that I was doing taxes in the background. So whatever. Okay. Now that adds the total, the price, and all that shit together. So all I gotta do now is send this out. So is SESSMGR dot do request and request MSG set. That's what we sent out there. Now, This is a response message. Did we create a response message up here? I did not create a response. Oh, well. I'll create it right now. There. That does that. That does that. Everything's done. That's it. In theory, we should be done. Okay. That should go through all the items and create the sales receipt and spit it out. So what we want to see on our end, we want to see a console.writeLine. Better yet, come with this MSG box, and we're going to set out the total, and then we'll follow it by the tax. So we'll see the total and we'll see the tax. Now, of course, we got to see what the hell is going on before we send the request and after. So, in here, we're going to do the console.writeLine for us. We're going to do request msg set.toXML, and then here we're going to do console.writeLine response msg set.toXML. And let's hope to God this works, because it's getting hot in here. Take off all your clothes. Alright. Okay, so we have an issue. One is the quantity is all zeros, and we sold some chicken tenders without them being any chicken tenders. The reason I did this because we did it with the administrator. Administrator has the rights to sell shit that does not exist. So we're going to close this. We're going to QuickBooks, and we're going to create these. We're going to add our inventory. We're going to buy some. How about we're going to buy some potatoes? So I'm going to select this item, and what I'm going to do is add on-hand quantity. I'm going to do it myself 10. Continue. So now 10 of them are on quantity. So I've got taters. Close that out. Go back in here. Close that out. Taters. I should have 10 of them on hand. QuickBooks. Potatoes. Select item. 10. Yes. Available. It's like, no, you do not have 10. It's like, no, I want 10. Alright. Does it give me 10? There you go, 10 on hand. Oh, I guess I selected the wrong item. Boiled shrimp. So I'm just going to buy taters. Alright. Now, there's no price on this, so I'm going to do, go in here. Now I see I selected the wrong thing again. So items, cancel that shit. Taters, select item. What are you doing? No, you're trying to fucking make a sales. You piece of shit. No. Yes. Just because I can't fucking double click. Alright, find potatoes. Potatoes. Select the items. Here they are. What do they cost me? I'm gonna say, and then it cost me $1. Fuck it. $1. Order costs. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. Tax. Yes. Yes. Done. Save. Taters cost me $1. Okay, so I don't know. There's a different application. This one. I'm gonna run this now. So now we should have 10 potatoes, 10 bowls of crawfish, or 10 bowls of shrimp, and the potatoes have a price of $1 each. So, potatoes have 10, bowl of shrimp have 10. So these should have, I got inventory of 10, so I'm going to pass them over. Now here's what I want, quantity. You want to buy one? I'm going to buy 3 potatoes, so that's going to be $3. So, it put over 10. The reason it put over 10 because it didn't overwrite the toString, but don't worry about it. It's the quantity is set for 10. This is just copying exactly what's in there. So. Okay, that's all we're going to do. Buy 10 potatoes, which is not 10, we're buying 3. Okay, I'm going to hit submit, and then all the magic stuff should happen. Okay, oh, it actually went all the way through. So, the price was $3. and at 25 cents tax. So if we do the calculator, we do 3 times 0.0825, I should get 25. 24, but that's a 5, that turns into an 8, that gets raised up to a 5, so 25 cents tax. So tax. So it did work. So let's look down here at our XML that came through. Bring the XML in here. Alright, this is our request. In this item, we're going to create a test order. Price level 1, it's a sales item, here's the dates, whatever the fuck, and here's the item that we're purchasing, which is quantity 3. The total amount that we charged and got back was $3.25, which is the total amount, the extended price plus the taxes, and that got charged. The response XML that came back from QuickBooks says, alright, this is your this sales receipt ID, so you can go back and modify it, I guess. But here's a test order, there's no discounts, no discount price, no other shit, whatever the fuck, it's not posted, I've never figured out what this means yet. But the sale type, modified, store number 1, total price, the cost was $3, which was the stuff underneath it, and 25 cents was tax amount. So see, it already knew that, hey, 25 cents of that is going to be taxes. And then it goes, oh, local tax is 8.25, total cash received was $3.25. Okay, and blah 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 blah. Okay, so that was done, that all happened, and here's some more stuff and more information about the list ID and other shit, extended prices. But it finished, it worked. So I'm gonna go to QuickBooks real quick. I'm gonna bring up the sales history, and here's the sales history of the one we just made. Total $3.25, and there's no cash here because we didn't post any of the information, but here it says local sales tax. Receipt number 2, we can't see what was purchased unless we select this. So find receipt, we want receipt number 2, select the receipt. We bought item number 3 was potatoes. We bought 3 of them, they're $1 each. The extended price was $3, available quantity 7, so our inventory went down from 10 to 7. So on our end over here is that we did not make something like fuck. Hold on, I got a call. Yellow. Hey Dad, how you doing? Yeah. $186. Wow. You didn't tell you anything about all that? Yeah. Shoot, a lot. Yeah. Yep. I got a concert this weekend, so I'll probably be going down. No, don't worry about sending me money for anything. Okay. I don't worry about it. Thank you. Yeah, everything's fine here. Okay. Okay, then. Bye-bye. Well, my dad calling. He's a truck driver. He does fuel and other stuff, and he said he for the 2 weeks he put in 180 hours. You know, normally they don't let people work that many hours, but you know, I guess where he's at, they need a lot of drivers. That's a lot. Alright, well, here we go. Back to this thing. Alright, as we see here, there's a $3 charge. We know it worked. It did thing. What we didn't do is we didn't subtract the quantity from the inventory. So our inventory still shows 10. If we restart the application, it's going to show 7 because it's going to read it again from QuickBooks. So what you got to do on your side is, you know, keep track of inventory yourself whenever you're doing sales, unless you want to reload the inventory every single time. In some cases that might be good, in some cases it might not be good. Some items actually have what's called assemblies, and each assembly has multiple sub items inside them from your inventory. what I mean by that sub item stuff is, let's go into this items here. If I go into this crawfish here, and if I select it, or find item, crawfish, select. See, this is an assembly, and in here I go to edit assembly. You can see it takes 1 corn and 2 potatoes and 2 pounds of crawfish. So you see, so when this happens in QuickBooks, it automatically knows to deduct that amount from your inventory. Okay, but on your side, it doesn't know any of that stuff. It just knows that it's crawfish. So you might, like in this, that's why I have stuff separated as an ingredient. See, all these are 3 different ingredients. When you go back to my other stuff, everything else shows up as a food item. See, food and then ingredients. So on my stuff, what I would do, I would just filter out all the food and just keep the food, and I won't keep track of the ingredients. But either way, you know, whenever you make a sale, make sure you subtract your inventory from your own list. That way, it's correct. So whenever you process the next one. But there we go. That's pretty much, that was plain and simple. I don't know how simple that was, but that did the inventory. I mean, that made a sales receipt for an item that was in inventory. We added items to the quantity and all stuff. Everything else that you need to do, you can do it from within QuickBooks. So there's no reason to create a source to it, unless you have a manager that's overwriting something or whatever. But yeah, I guess you would have to fucking do that shit, wouldn't you? That sucks. Either way, everything works the same way. You know, you have to start the session, close the session, create this response, and then just keep adding shit to the response. Your response message always depends on what you're doing. Like here, we're appending a sales receipt. We can be appending a tax category. I mean, we can look at the library. There's a lot of stuff in here, and it's all pretty much the same thing. Everything has a request. Like there's always an append. Like if you're doing a sales ad, you just find it's called iSales or whatever the fuck you want to do. There's queries, there's ads, there's all kinds of shit you can do. There was an appended if you're going to append it to the request, and then whenever you break it out and you get back to responses, you got to take the response, break down the response into a response list, and then iterate through that response list and get all the information you want out of it. But that pretty much sums up this QuickBooks thing. I mean, that's 4 things you can do with it. Goddamn phone. That's 4 things. I'm gonna hope. Well, I want to mute the phone. There, fuck off. Wireless caller. Fuck them. Okay. So that's it. So that's load employees. We got clock in, clock out. We have still fucking calling me? TBG, that's Steve speaking. 1 second, let me check. No, he went to pick up Lisa. He's not here right now. That deco unit, I don't know anything about it right now. I don't know. I mean, I've been in my office all day. Alright, bye. The boss man. Calling and see if I know where anyone's at, but shit, I've been locked up in here. I haven't done anything. I mean, well, anything other than these videos and writing software for him. Okay, so there's 4 basic things that you need with the QuickBooks stuff. We know how to get the list of employees. You know how to clock in, clock out with employees. We know how to get the inventory from QuickBooks. We know how to create sales receipts, and pretty much with those 4 examples, you should be able to do just about anything in QuickBooks. You should be able to edit, append, and query just about anything that QuickBooks has. Create new records and stuff like that. And you can make your request have multiple request items inside it, because that's how QuickBooks works. You can, well, that's how the XML stuff works, where you can just add a bunch of requests, send it out, and then you can iterate through all the response lists. Because we only do response list 0. Like if you look up here, we always do this get response 0, and so if we have more stuff in there, we can check, and there'd be multiple responses. So it can be a whole shitload. It's because this is a response list, but we've only been going by 1 because we're doing 1 request per message. But yeah, pretty much you can send one big old request. Thing is that it takes time for QuickBooks to generate the query, and it doesn't take too much time for us to parse it on our end, but you know, you guys be careful what you're doing. Make sure you use filters whenever you're asking for inventory stuff, because if you don't use filters, you're going to get an entire crazy amount of stuff if you have a big store. Or if you have a bunch of sales receipts and you query up a sales receipt, you're going to get tons and tons of shit. So you make sure you add some kind of filter to filter it by date before you submit it to QuickBooks, because if not, you're going to get flooded with shit and you might just get a timeout error because shit might be too big, or you get a Stack Overflow because you don't have enough space or something. You know, just stuff to be cautious about. And always remember that whenever you're taking information down from QuickBooks, whenever you're doing this get value, make sure you check for if it's not nothing, because if it's nothing, then it's going to crash. And then you're going to be like, oh my god, what the problem was. And if you ever have a problem where some kind of error and you can't figure out what it is, always look at the response that QuickBooks sends back. Basically, you have this this bullshit here, this due request. Whenever you send this request out, it's going to return back the response, because that's what that line does. This response, always just do a console.write line and print out the XML and read the XML. The XML tells you everything what's going on. If there's an error, it's going to tell you the status code. It's going to tell you this is missing or that is missing. And if you can't figure what it's going on, there's also a help file you can get to. Where the hell is QuickBooks SDK on this thing? There we go. I went to one of these things. I don't know which one was. I think it's this one, Programmer's Guide. Open that up. Yeah, I'm gonna copy it and bring it over here. Okay, this is it. Basically, you do a search, type in whatever you want, like add item, hit go, boom, shows you all this stuff. Creating receiving vouchers, creating sales receipts. So here's the receipt stuff. You go in here, here's that request stuff. Here's the code that they use to create the sales receipts. And you see their code kind of looks like mine. And if you look under this section, it's under the QBFC. So that's stuff we've been messing with. So it's a good place to go in here and find all the details. If these codes work. Some places you'll find some crazy shit. You just gotta play with it. You know, like whenever they do the filter stuff, I never got that shit working right, but I figured it out. There's a bunch of stuff in here. Here's how to create a sales order. Here's the XML, what it should look like. Here's the code to actually create it. Alright, so the data's there, information's available. This is inside that file that I clicked on. So stuff's there. You know, the help's there. Also, if you have any problems, post it on the forums and I'll take a look at it. Other than that, that's it. This is Steve with TBG with this QuickBooks thing, and that ends this video. Laters.